This is the presentation for the 12th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year A. The materials that you need will be mainly the Gospel characters. You could add in some of the apostles if you want. So this is the actual presentation and how it would go. Today in the Gospel, Jesus speaks about the need to be brave, to not hide our faith in Him, and to be ready to stand up for what is right. Some of the words that you need to know are acknowledge, and that means to show that we know and accept someone, to acknowledge them. And then proclaim. In this passage, it means to share the good news, to stand up for what is right, and to live in a way that shows Jesus' love. And this is taken from St. Matthew's Gospel. In fact, the next 3 or 4 weeks are taken from Matthew's Gospel, and you're going to find that interesting because there will be a progression, and sometimes you're going to need to go back to the previous reading a little bit to make sense of what's actually read on the Sunday, but that's ahead of us. So here we go. This is how you more or less present it to the children, bearing in mind there's not a lot of movement this time. So what you want to aim for is that the children are focused down here. So you may find a way of indicating that this is the setting. Maybe you'll point to the figures. You might move the figures a little bit as though they're kind of thinking about it. Try and pause when you're doing that from reading. Let's see how we go. Have no fear. What I say to you in the dark, tell in the light. And what you hear whispered, proclaim from the housetops. Do not fear those who can kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground without your Father knowing. And even the hairs of your head are counted. Do not be afraid. You are of more value than many sparrows. Everyone, therefore, who acknowledges me before others, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever denies me before others, I also will deny before my Father in heaven. And then follow the I wonder questions. There are quite a few I wonder questions. You don't have to use them all, and you may need to give an example, model wondering as well, to help the children think a little bit and come up with some thoughts. But here are the ones that are appropriate for today. I wonder what Jesus is asking us to do when he says, what you hear whispered, proclaim from the housetops. I wonder what Jesus means when he says, are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground without your Father knowing. And even the hairs on your head are counted. I wonder what Jesus meant when he says, everyone who acknowledges me before others, I also will acknowledge before my Father in heaven. And I wonder how we can acknowledge Jesus in our lives today.